Hey, good morning, everybody. I am thrilled you're here, and welcome to a happy Tuesday here in snowy Chicagoland. Anyways, today we are talking about how things like weightlifting and hemp oil can help you really transform and change the toxic people and relationships and situations in your life. If you don't know who I am, hey Lisa, nice to see you. If you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body-mind expert and a Shiatsu massage therapist, and my specialty is helping women heal their relationships by healing their body and heal their body by healing their relationships. Hey, Amanda. So one thing that most people don't know, they haven't made the connection, is that our physical health has a tremendous impact on our mental and emotional well-being. You know, so for example, this topic came up into my head because my husband has been traveling for 3 weeks. And when he travels, and I'm a Taurus, I love doing things that feel good. Hey, Carol, that are soft, that are, sensory based. And I get out of my structure of really good, healthy choices that I make. And what happened over these 3 weeks is I could feel my mental and emotional health start to diminish. I didn't have the same resiliency. I didn't have the same compassion or empathy. And I felt my empathy was really, or my sensitivity to what was going on around me was really amped up. And it reminded me of this topic about how important it is to take care of our physical health first. And when we do that, then our relationships around us start to change. Now, how does this work? You know, when we don't get our basic needs met, and I really wish they talked about this when we were in kindergarten and when we were in school. Hey, Andrea, I really wish these had been basic skills that we as people had been taught when we were young. You know, instead they tell us things, you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day, you need to get 8 hours of sleep, you need to exercise. You know, there were all of these healthy things that you should do, but nobody ever made the connection between the physical things that you should do to stay healthy and how it actually makes you feel mentally and emotionally. So one of the things they talk about with depression is how exercise is so important for depression. And it is, but people don't start to make the connection. They say, oh yeah, that's a good idea. It's a good idea. Maybe I'll try it later. As little as walking at a stroll, which is what I do around the track, or lifting a few 3 to 5 pound weights, make you feel so much more balanced and so much more resilient the next day. Part of the reason I did a live stream on this last week, part of the reason that women are in toxic relationships is because they're so freaking tired. They're exhausted. And one of the reasons they're exhausted is because we have been taught to put all of these other things, to have a higher value and a higher priority on other people, on serving other people, on giving more, on being present. Women were taught that our highest value is to nurture other people. But the thing that they've missed is that when there's nothing left in your well, then there's no way that you can nurture other people. And there's no way that you have the resiliency to stand up and talk back to someone who's creating a toxic relationship. You know, one of the things that I've realized over the years, and I've had a lot of difficult relationships with a lot of difficult people, and it started when I was a kid. And I wanted to learn how to love and see past the behavior to the person that was underneath. Because if I didn't do my forgiveness work, I would be a complete wreck. I needed to make peace with the things that were going on inside of me, which meant that I had to figure out how to develop healthy relationships with people who had very toxic behaviors, who would blow up without any warning, who were chronically in a bad mood, no matter how they would handle it, and I would feel it, who would blame or shame, who would play with your head. And they would do these things because they were so uncomfortable. And no, that's not right that you do it. It's not right at all. However, we as human beings, hey Patty, and me especially as a woman, feel that it is so important that the way to transform our relationships is to value our own lives, our own sense of being, our own experiences. And when we value those first, the relationships around us change. Because a lot of relationships kind of happen by default, and people go to their worst natures. I worked with a guy once who, heavy-duty Catholic, he was Italian Catholic, and one of his beliefs was the Catholics had all of these rules and regulations to help people treat each other better because they wouldn't do it on their own. And I wasn't like that, so I couldn't understand why other people were like that. But as I got older and as I evolved, I realized a lot of people do fall into their baser natures. They fall into the bad habits and the bad things that they do. And when we allow that to happen, when we say, hey, it's okay that you treat me this way, or we don't empathize with the why they're doing it, then we don't create really powerful, positive change in our lives. So it's important to be strong. And how do we be strong? We be strong by doing things like weightlifting, literally. We be strong by making smart choices like taking hemp oil. My friend Patty's on today, and she's my endocannabinoid system expert. When your body is in balance, when you drink your water, when you walk for a half an hour, when you take your hemp oil, when you spend time and meditate in a good position, in a good posture, when you take your kombucha to, hey Christy, to heal your gut, when you're on your probiotics, when you eat your fiber, when you do all these things that they told you you should do, and you realize what it really does is it makes you strong enough and smart enough and focused enough that you can stand up for yourself and your life. And you don't have to fall back on the habits and the patterns that keep you feeling sick, that keep you feeling disempowered and unable to stand up to people. Or walking away. You know, many times we don't walk away from situations because it's so complex, because it's so emotionally difficult, because we feel pulled in so many different directions. Let me tell you, when you are physically in a good space, when you're doing things like just making sure that you walk a little bit, that you lift a few weights, that you go to the gym a few times a week, that you do the steam room. When you do things like that, it gives you the ability to not be hijacked by your own emotions, by your own past. So things like CBD oil, hemp oil, exercise, meditation, you've heard them all. But the reason that we don't use them many, many times is because we don't realize the important, powerful effect it has on our psyche. It has on our ability to become whole and to create the relationships that we want. You know, people are getting lazier and lazier and also exhibiting, more and more toxic habits. And that turns them into the monsters that we can call narcissists. That helps turn them into the bullies that feel comfortable telling everybody that it's their fault. That's what it does. When we are in a healthy, strong, smart place, then all of those things and problems we're able to stand up to. We're able to change because we feel good. The most important part, hey Melba, the most important part to mental and emotional health is making sure you physically feel good. Because if you do, if you feel good, you are able to stand up to the bullies. You are able to walk away from the toxic situation. And you're able to not feel hijacked or obsessed or trapped or neurotic about things which are normal, everyday human things that every single person has to go through. So that's the message for today. When you do things that make your body feel good, it comes out as making your relationships better with everybody, because now you can't be hijacked. Now you're able to stand strong, and you're the one that guides the energy in the room. You're the one that is the light and sets the tone and the structure. Hey, Lynn, sets the tone and the structure for how an experience will go. Because many times your energy and your attitude, how well you feel, how good you feel, is what makes the difference between a bad situation, hey Kristen, and a good situation. Whether something becomes nasty and toxic, or whether you say, you know what, I can tell that you're going down, you're giving me an experience I don't want to have. I can tell you're moving down this direction, and you need to come back to me when you feel better. I'm going to leave now. You start being able to have that resiliency, and you aren't hijacked by fear and anxiety and depression. Hey, Donna, nice to see you. You aren't hijacked by your own emotions anymore because your body is able to handle it. Okay, so here's your homework assignment for today. I want you to pick one physically healthy thing. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's taking some hemp oil. Maybe it's meditating for 20 minutes. But I want you to do one good thing for your body. And I want you to notice how it changes how able you are to make good relationship and situational choices and not be drawn into the toxic and the negativity, not be shaped by it. Because now you are taking back the power of your life instead of allowing everybody else's energy to negatively impact you, and to start rewiring your brain so that now all you can think is negativity and sensitivity to everything, okay? So, one good thing, that's all you gotta do. So, like, love, share, comment on other people's comments, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And we're going to be doing a series on narcissistic relationships, toxic relationships, with a number of female healers and experts who each have their own specialty. We're going to be starting it in about 2 weeks. There are going to be special interviews, and we're going to culminate with a great roundtable. So keep your eyes open for it. I'll be marketing for it. And if you want to make sure that you get the info and that you can be on the calls, hey Jody, and watch the live streams, then make sure that that you follow me, and you'll be able to keep up on the 411. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later, okay? Bye.